Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tanish. Thanks for being here. Today I'm going to review the book name How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carneige. Why I decided to review this book, I would really like to share my personal opinion on that. So what basically happened is in my graduation days, we used to have a lot of activities, PowerPoint presentations, basically, and I was new to this world and I had no idea how to face people, how to talk with the people, how to convince them, and that really shook me off because even though I had good knowledge about a particular thing, I was not able to express it. So one more thing which I would like to tell you is, suppose tomorrow you have a $1 million project, okay, a project presentation for example. I mean, you have all of the knowledge that is required, but unfortunately you're not able to express it, which is a very sad part of the story, because even though you have so good knowledge, you're not able to express it, then there's no point of even doing the whole process. So after I realized all of this thing, I decided to purchase this book. So it doesn't really matter from which background you are, whether it be engineering, science, commerce. What really matters is if you are able to express yourself. Even in corporate life, knowledge works. I agree to that, but executing the knowledge, executing the idea is really equally important, because if there is a client of yours, and if you are not able to execute your idea, share your idea to him, obviously it's of no point. So I think these few skills are really important in a day-to-day life, like being in a team rather than bossing up, being a leader, so all of these things are really important and really matter to me, obviously to all of the students who are learning. So that is why I decided to review this book. I'll give you a brief what I'll be telling you in this video. The first and foremost things are the few general principles which will help you out to understand what the book is exactly. Second thing is how you can get the most out of this book. Third, I would like to tell you that what my personal experience has been reading this book, reading before and after reading this book, and what I personally like about this book, the way it is. So yeah, let's get started. The first principle which I personally like says that you should show respect for other person's opinion. Never say that you're wrong. You're wrong is a very hurtful word. Whenever we sit in a team, or anywhere, when someone's directly blames the other person, you are wrong, it kind of gets rude. I mean, everyone has a different point of view, we shouldn't judge them. And even if we want to explain that person that he is going wrong somewhere, we can just be polite to him and just say that, okay, I agree that this is your point of view, but try to look it from this view, or try to look it from this direction. So the other person also doesn't feel bad, and his confidence also doesn't shake up, and he also feels that his opinion has been considered. The second principle says that if you're wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. It is really important for you to know that one should learn to accept his or her fault. I mean, it is okay, sometimes it might not be your fault, sometimes it can be your fault, but whenever there is a fault which happens by you, learn to accept it. No one's gonna really judge you. Half of the people don't really care, and the ones who are judging, please just avoid those. So just learn to accept your faults. That is the first way through which you can really grow up. The second principle which I personally like says that the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Here also same thing happens. Argument happens both ways, but what the author is trying to tell is that the best way to avoid an argument is just to not talk about it. Just stay away from an argument whenever you feel that the other person is gonna mock you up because it's his mistake. Just tell that, fine, I'm sorry, it is my mistake, even if it is not your fault. That is that these are just the steps of you growing up, and this will definitely help you out in the future. The fourth principle says that ask questions instead of giving direct orders. I really find this principle very, very beautifully written. Suppose I'm in my office, and I tell my colleague to pass me on something. So if I tell him that go get me that thing, that could be really rude of me, because I'm kind of giving orders. and no one likes to take an order. So instead of that, what I could tell him is, hey, can you please get me that thing, or hey, can you please get me some water? In that way I do sound polite, as well as I don't sound rude, so the other person also, feels okay, in case he's trying to give me something. So that's the fourth principle. The fifth principle says that talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. This is a really helpful management technique, even, which I would like to obviously share with you guys. That whenever you are in a team, suppose, and because of some person you are not able to complete your project, rather than blaming him directly, you can take the responsibility on yourself. Rather, you being the head of the team, the leader of the team, you should be the first one to stand and tell that, yeah, it is my fault that I was not able to cope up with the things. And then try to slowly explain the person that he should have been more quicker in this and that. In that way, he does not feel lonely, and in other terms his confidence doesn't shake. He doesn't feel that he's been pointed out separately, because most of the times people do think in that way. So this is also a principle which will kind of help you. So these were the principles, and these, I mean, I've just mentioned you five of the basic principles. There are many principles in this book which will help you out. Now let's talk how you can get the most from this book. The first and foremost principle is to remember, constantly remember yourself that how important these principles are to you, and how they will help you in your future. The second is just take a glimpse of the book, okay, and then reread the chapter. The third is, ask yourself how and where you can apply these principles in your real life, because not only this book but all of the self-help book really teaches you a lot of things, but they're useless if you don't apply them in your real life. So yeah, and the fourth one, I mean the last one, which I would really like to tell you, is that please carry a highlighter or a marker with you whenever you are using any of the self-help books, because these book consists of a lot of knowledge. And if you just highlight whatever you feel is important, later after a year or so, whenever you feel like just taking a glimpse from this book, you can just open the pages, turn them, and then you can just come to know that what's really important for you. You can just get an idea, and bang on, you're done. So what my personal experience after reading this book is, I'm really happy with the type of language the author has used. It's super easy and very informative. Talking about the principles are obviously easy to understand, but the author has tried to club them with few very good examples, and that doesn't make the book boring. I've heard a lot of people who say that self-help books are really boring, and they're boring because they just have so much of information in there. But this book is really different because it has very relatable examples, which doesn't make the book boring. Other than that, I'm also impressed with the way the book has actually been written. Even the font size is it's bare minimum. It is easily visible, and if you just take a look at the book, you will get an idea how it has been written. I also like the way the principles have been written at last, so that is also a very good thing. So memorize the book at last. And yeah, so that's all, and thank you for watching.